Alrighty everybody, now that we know the release date has been pushed back to August, let's talk about what all was good and what needs fixing. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Smithers. As for my background, I have about 4,500 hours in Hell Let Loose with a mix between streaming and commanding, a lot of it on the competitive side. This will be a very comprehensive review, so there are timestamps located in the pinned comment for specific topics. Let's get started. First off, let me just say this. Overall, I had a lot of fun. I streamed this open beta for around 20 hours, played every single role, and had plenty of great moments. Oh! Did I get him? I think I got him. I think he shot me at the left.
I almost had you, bastard.
Dude, you can hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, nice, dude. That's sweet. The prox chat. That's so cool.
It's so sick.
Oh, dude. Oh. Give a shot.
Oh, I got him! I hit him!
So despite all the bugs, which we'll talk about here in a bit, at least in my experience, they weren't detrimental to having a good time. Without further ado, let's go ahead and dive in. The Commander UI is very easy to use. Compared to World War II, it is very straightforward, and all the buttons are right in front of you ready to press without any scrolling, and I find the reaction timing to place certain abilities is about 10 to 20% quicker than in World War II. Now the map, on the other hand, is a bit of a different story. To me, the point of a map is to open it quickly, understand the situation, and close it. I'm not necessarily looking to stare at all the graphics and animations going on. Unless you're on mortars, where I guess it can be nice to see exactly where your rounds are landing. Just from my end, I wish they would change it to be a standard map at 1x zoom so I could choose where I want to zoom versus the map opening and zooming in for me, making me pan all around to see what's going on. Personally, I don't think any player is going to live in the map long enough to really justify everything that's in it. And remember, this whole time it can add a little extra load to the GPUs out there. As far as the bugs go, there were numerous markers on the map that wouldn't go away. Pretty much everyone is aware of this by now, and I'm sure it's on top of the devs' to-do list. No doubt this added a smidgen to everyone's frame rate issues. As far as commander abilities go, everything was pretty straightforward. I really only had trouble with turning the direction of planes, whether they come in from the east, the west, the north, or the south. And one last thing, it seems the MVA Arty Strike was bugged as it would only call in one round per circle, so I'm guessing that one needs to be fixed. The helicopters were overall very useful. After the closed beta, I was expecting the Helios to have a terrible time, getting shot down constantly and not being able to have an impact. But overall in the matches I played, they were very helpful. The pilots offered to fly people around to different places, and pilots requested supply helos to drop them around the map and set up garrisons. Okay, this is the supply one, yeah, because you can see the crate. Did he drop it? I think he dropped it. Did he drop it? Very nice. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate that. That's it. You could drop them while you don't have to land on the ground.
Hey, command. You got a transport helicopter sitting off to your left if you want to ride somewhere else if you're done.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Okay, so another garrison up in the red. On my way. Let's head over to the very top.
You know, Smithers, let me tell you something. When the helicopter comes, I'm gonna come.
This is what I'm talking about, man. This is what I'm talking about. This is a great start to a game, right? The copter, that they're like, hey, do you need a ride? I do need a ride. Can you take me over there? Boom. This is what I'm talking about, man. Now, this is how it's supposed to be.
Get the fuck out of my helicopter. Go.
Thank you. This was really great to see. and showed everyone a little glimpse of how great these could be for the Americans. I encountered a lot of great flyers as well who took me anywhere I needed to go without any troubles. Now when it comes to competitive matches, who knows how they will fare, but overall in the games I played, I felt like the skill level for RPGs and machine guns isn't quite there yet to offset the skill level of pilots that are coming in from games like Arma, who I think have the best helo flying reputation out there. I'm not the greatest pilot by any means, and I was able to fly around for quite some time on a number of occasions. One of my biggest concerns right now is as we see the skill level of infantry increase, will we see that overtake the skill level of pilots and their ability to perform evasive maneuvers? Only time will tell. For those of you wondering what my thoughts are as far as the competitive side goes, I will be making a separate video on that when it comes to helos and everything else. I felt tank driving was really easy. Going over the foliage and moving about was really nice, and I didn't really encounter any issues except when on top of hills where I began to slide a bit. However, when it comes to hitting other tanks, the hit marker was a bit delayed and didn't seem to register properly. The reload mechanic also was a bit broken as I found myself having to smash R repeatedly to kick it off and put in a new shell. I could see a really good couple of tank crews absolutely dominating the enemy team with how many shells and RPGs they can absorb. So these will need a bit of nerfing in my opinion. Overall, they are very powerful if put in the right hands. Boats were really easy to handle, and switching between the front and rear guns could be especially useful for taking down helicopters. As far as being an extra spawn point goes, my biggest concern in public matches is the same as we saw with half-tracks in World War II, moving them without being asked to.
Oh no, the half-track! Half-track! Texas Red! Driving it into the circle, Puma's looking for the angle. Puma doesn't see it. Rolo started a kick on Texas Red, 14, 56, 7 to 20. Oh, that was passed instantly. The one who drove away the half-track.
So here maybe make it just so SLs can move them and not just any old blueberry. Could be something to try out in the next open beta. As for being in the driver's seat, it just felt like driving a big old half-track. I anticipate the learning curve for these will be really low. And the last thing I'll say is that the boat's destruction animation could use some work. I still found it a bit difficult to locate a garrison, tunnel, or outpost based on the noise emitting from it, and also the location of gunfire. I understand it's a jungle and all, but I feel like it should be more noticeable as far as where it's coming from.
I don't know what's going on that side of the mountain. Looks like our team is struggling on the east. I feel like if we leave and go to the east, then we'll just lose the west again. So it's like,
Well, we'll know because our Garrett flash red.
oh my god, what was that? Did you just get blown to smithereens? Get him, Smithers, we're behind them, we're behind them.
Whenever I was in the jungle lying low, I had to stop and really listen closely as to where I should be looking, and even then I was a bit unsure. The other issue I noticed was the volume menu. If you really wanted to notice a difference between the adjustments, I found that you had to lower the volume all the way down to 5 or below. This will need some sort of sensitivity change. Now on to one of the more funny topics. This may not be annoying to everyone, but man, no matter what was going on, whether it be napalm strikes, strafing runs, or intense gunfire, the birds kept singing. It almost felt like there was a standard audio track placed for rainforest sounds over the entire map. Let's please tone this down a bit. It would be cool to have the sounds dynamically adjust based on what's going on, but that may be too much for right now, and I'm totally fine if that is on the shelf somewhere for later. Proxy chat was also a nice surprise. Oh! Did I get him? I think I got him. I think he shot me at the left.
I almost had you, bastard.
Dude, you can hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, nice, dude. That's sweet. The prox chat. That's so cool.
It's so sick.
I don't know if this was on purpose or not, but it was a really cool feature and I hope they include it going forward. Although we'll probably need a separate volume slider in case things get really toxic. Just a simple one to adjust the enemy proxy chat volume. Usually in World War II matches, I'm begging and pleading for people to build nodes since I'm struggling with resources. In Vietnam, I didn't find myself being drained of fuel, manpower, or munitions all the time. Now, this isn't any type of witchcraft, but it's that a lot of the stuff is just cheaper. There are no 600 big boy fuel heavies to worry about, only 250 fuel mediums. As long as you don't go hog wild and drop bombing runs, arty strikes, and strafing runs as soon as they're available over and over again, you should be generally okay on resources. Now, will this change later? For sure, when they add more expensive tanks, helos, etc. But for right now, it isn't too shabby. A big plus is that there are 150 supplies available in all the HQs now, so it makes it really easy to build nodes. No longer are you driving a supply truck up to the top of the second grid line and dropping your box, jumping out, putting up your blueprints, and so on and so forth. You just gotta spawn at the HQ as an engineer, head over to your left, and there you go. Now, I know some of the die-hard HLL fans don't think this should be included, but for me, you gotta make it as easy as possible in pub matches for players that frankly don't care about the team effort or want to do their own thing. The last thing they want to be bothered with is building a set of nodes. But if you can make it as easy as this, we commanders in pub matches may just have a chance. Just remember, going forward when it goes live, you can always withhold spawning vehicles for crews if you're still missing nodes. It's a bit of a brutish method, but hey, you gotta get them built. I didn't really have any issues with the graphics. I was running steady around 60 FPS a majority of the time with dips down to 40 for short periods with everything on epic or high. From the comments I've seen, it seems like most of the people with 3000 series and below were the ones with the lowest frames. But just remember, this was an open beta where the game was exposed to thousands of different hardware configurations, and we can only hope that they will take the data they've received and do the adjustments on their end needed to make this run smoother for everyone. And just as with World War II, I'm sure players out there will be researching the optimal graphics settings like crazy and publish their own videos as to what works best. The first time I played, I just happened to jump into a server that had a whole bunch of rubber banding going on. For those of you who don't know what rubber banding is, it's basically like going 3 meters forward in a vehicle and then going 2 meters back. So it takes you forever to make any progress. However, I jumped over to a different server that didn't have any of this and everything was totally fine. I don't have much to say about key bindings, but they will need some fixing. When I would go to customize some, they wouldn't stick or they would be overlapping with others. It seems like they will need to add some type of warning about duplicate keybinds and offer some type of erase keybind option in there. Text chat is another small issue I found, where it was limited to just a few characters. I hope they increase this to at least 50 or so, that way you can actually type complete sentences versus relying on condensed phrases like this to ask for nodes or help somewhere. When it comes to balancing, I thought the matches were overall pretty even on the ground. Of course, you're going to have your basic skill differential when it comes to pub matches and competitive events, as you always do, but I had a good feeling about the game in general. I had a couple of matches where we had at least 7 total point captures. Now, when it comes to actually having organized teams on both sides, I'll put that in another video. The big topic though is the offset of tunnels and helos. Tunnels are still a bit overpowered in my opinion. A couple of the updates from the closed beta was that they increased the manpower by 200 for the emergency tunnel and added 5 minutes to the cooldown for a total of 10 minutes. They also adjusted the max range in which you can place and connect a tunnel, although I felt it was a little inconsistent. The base tunnels that can be built by any SL or the commander are still free, which is a problem. For those of you that are unfamiliar with tunnels, let me play a short clip on how they work.
Okay, let's just put it here. We'll just put it here. Okay, so here we go. Put down a tunnel. So here we have a tunnel. The tunnel has no connections because we have nothing established. Here we go. We have this one over there. Oh, he already connected it. Okay. It's so easy. Okay, let's... All right, here we go. Here we go. We're going to go in, and we're going to see how long it takes us. Oh, please don't let this be instant. Please let this don't be instant. Please let this not be instant. Okay, hey, they increased the travel time a little bit. They added maybe 3 seconds to that, 2-3 seconds. Oh God, that's still way too OP. Oh Jesus. Here are my recommendations for the tunnels. Increase emergency tunnel costs to 600 manpower. These aren't airheads from World War II. These are already on the ground, so in no way can they immediately be spotted. Increase the build timer to 60 seconds. For normal tunnels, make them cost at least 100 supplies in the blue and 150 supplies in the red. These are extremely powerful transport methods that can radically change the game, so I think the cost should be high. Increase the travel time to a minimum of 7 seconds, and add a 10-second cooldown between when people can go in them. If one person goes in, the next person must wait 10 seconds before entering. Decrease the total number that could be placed from 15 down to 8, or add a timer from when you can disconnect and reconnect one. As far as I could see, I didn't notice anything preventing you from disconnecting and reconnecting them on demand. This will prevent a team from essentially transporting troops all around the battlefield instantly by disconnecting and reconnecting the tunnel networks. My goal with these suggestions is to offset the incredible advantage that the tunnels offer the NBA at the moment. As far as I know, there were no boring tunnels in Vietnam, so we have to add some travel time to what is in place now. By adding all these items, it would be a good start to nerfing them a bit and offset the overwhelming advantage a really good NBA team can have with these. Of course, the emergency tunnels will still be stronger, as you can't see them being put up, but at least they will have a hefty price tag. I do like the concept of tunnels, but I feel like we need to experiment with another round of nerfing and maybe another open beta. For Helios, I see a lot of potential, as I mentioned earlier, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what all experienced pilots will be able to do.
Sir, where would you like to go? And I say anywhere. And they take you there. Incredible technology. Nobody's talking about it. Nobody's even thinking about it.
My biggest concern is over time, unless the Helios get a buff in health or certain weapons get a damage nerf, I think the increasing skill of infantry players will eventually overtake that of the pilot's ability to dodge everything coming at them, resulting in Helios essentially being a moot point. That'll be one of the first things I'm looking for in the next set of release notes from the devs. Alrighty, that will be it for now, everybody, and we will have to see what changes the devs make before the new release date in August. Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed the video, and I'm looking forward to everything you all have to say in the comments. Have a good one, buddies.